What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Honest Tattooer podcast, brought to you by Tattoo Smart. My name is John Mesa. I'm with my co-host, Matt Truiano.
Hey, how you doing?
G Money in the house.
What's up, guys?
And our very special guest, JR. Welcome to the podcast.
Right on.
Welcome,
Thank you.
JR.
So, good to have you, man. So for people that don't know you, let them know your name.
That's everybody.
Where are you from? How long you've been tattooing? And what kind of tattoos you like to do?
All right. My name is JR Maloney. I live in Piermont, New York. I own a shop called Vanguard Tattoo in Nyack, New York.
Cool.
And I've been tattooing 33 years.
Damn.
Woo.
Yeah.
33
So-
years.
33.
And
Clap.
that's it. 33. Let's go.
33.
Yeah. I'm here to talk shit.
Dope, man.
Let's do
And
it.
what kind of tattoos you do?
What they want.
You do what
Yeah.
they want.
Do what they
Aha.
want. I make a large scale Japanese style tattooing, but I specialize in filling them up. That's
Okay.
it. Like I can figure out your idea and make it cool.
What did you say before? I looked what you said. I specialize in not having a
And not
specialty.
specializing.
Yeah.
I specialize in not specializing.
Cool,
yeah.
man.
It's
So-
Super sick.
we have a similar background. I went to school of visual arts. So I went there in 1990 and like I have the ability to draw and I still practice drawing and all those things. Everything that you talk about all the time, I giggle because it's like, yeah, if you don't work at it, like, and you just said it was too much work the other day. I laughed. You're fucking killing me. And yeah, so I spend a lot of time drawing and I draw these weird ideas for people. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. I mean, 30
Yeah.
years is a long time to do anything.
Yeah.
So what does it feel like to look back on 30 years of tattooing now?
I already self-reflect all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like I already think about these things, and then as you hit milestones, you think about them. So it's like this canned answer for me at this point. It seems canned. The first 10 is definitely about me, like trying to figure out how to do tattoos for me. And then like you get pretty good at it. And then the next 10 become, for the people. And so now it's like I know how to draw. I know how to make the tattoos I'm looking for. They're close. They're close to, like, I change stuff up all the time. But now I have interpersonal connections with all my clients at this point, and it is so much more than tattooing that it becomes this, like, the last 10 years have been just like a completely different thing than trying to make money, trying to get them in, get them done. I run a nice tattoo shop. Like it's appointment only, but the door is open so you can come in. And so when people are in the area, they pop in. So
Every time that I've walked by you, either you're not there or the doors are locked.
and that's funny because you said to me one day, we were hanging out at the pool club, and you said, "When do you work?" And
Because I never see you work.
that's the best. And it's like, to say that is insane because I work at 10:30 a.m. until 2, and I go get my daughter and we hang out from 2 to 6, and then I go back to work from 6 to 12. So like him going home just now, I'm like,
Yeah.
where are you going?
Hey, like, what do you mean?
Like I'm gonna this appointment right now
Yeah.
is Jesse Old School gratefully gave up his appointment so that I could be here today.
Thanks,
Like,
Jesse.
thanks,
Well,
Jesse.
Without a
We
doubt.
appreciate you.
And that's
man.
like
Good man.
And I have people that I see weekly all the time. Like I just have a crew of people and they see me by myself.
Yeah.
But when they stop by, and when you said it at the pool, I was laughing because I go back to work with my pants are wet. Like I change in the bathroom. It's like I literally have like chlorine in my hair, and it's like it's just hysterical to me because you can't do what I've done without being there. And the workaholic part of me got me the 25 years before my daughter was born, and then like now it's like we're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny though, because like I laugh because anybody would say I'm at the shop, and if you drive by at midnight, the lights are still on. You know,
Yeah, it's funny.
yeah. But you go by like around noon trying to get a coffee, and it's like,
Yeah.
not there.
How old's your daughter?
She turned 6 last week.
So turned
She's
6.
rad.
Happy birthday.
Her name's Ren.
How was your work life before your daughter came to your life?
Oh, it was just work.
Just work.
Yeah, like I'm married now. I'm married 13 years. She's rad. Her name's Caitlin. Every relationship before that was stressed through tattooing, and tattooing was going to win no matter what. So it's literally like looking back, people wonder like, hey, how did it go? It's like I burned like all of that. There was one thing going, and it was me at the shop.
It takes a special type of person to be with a tattoo artist, especially one who's dedicated to tattooing as much as you are.
Yeah. Shout out to all the wifeys and partners out
Who
there
endure
who endure
tattooing.
our crazy schedules.
Yeah.
And
They were in love with something else back then.
And
Do you remember the first tattoo you ever did?
I started tattooing when I was in the Marine Corps. I got tattooed by a guy, and because I was because I had gone to, I was like graduated, went to School of Visual Arts, and then went into the Marine Corps. Like my first year of school, I knew it wasn't for me. But it wasn't that art wasn't for me. It's like I was paying my own way. I was working really hard, and the hard work was on my side anyway. So it was like, why would I pay a school to do that part? And then every workshop I've taken ever since then is like just like going to school. So it's like, it totally makes sense to do those things. But so when I first got tattooed, I had a sketchbook, right? And then I got tattooed again by the guy. I had a different sketchbook, and he was like, how does that happen? You know, because a tattooer doesn't have that. Like, so 30 years ago, a tattooer wasn't a guy who drew a lot. The guy who taught me how to tattoo, his name was David Youngblood. It was in Jacksonville, North Carolina. He was a German machinist from Germany, and he could make a machine. He could make tubes. He could make all this stuff. He taught me all those things. He could trace a picture, and he could do a portrait, but he couldn't draw. Like, he couldn't draw any of it, you know? And so the very first time, like, he was like, could you draw this for me? I was like, yeah. And I came back the next day and I had it. So it was literally like from that moment, it was like something, he traded me money for that drawing. I was like, I went to school to be an illustrator. So like, that was it. Like, and then when I finally tattooed, that was, I don't have OCD. I don't have any of those things. Like, I'm a painter. Like, I like calligraphy. I like things fast. I don't like, and not like super meticulous. So like spilling ink on ink drawings, like on comic drawings, and then having to white it out and doing all those kind of things was never my way. Like, I liked a little more loose style. And when I could wash off a tattoo, like that little piece of that where I like, ooh, it was like as much ink as on that person, and then you wash it away and it's clean. I was like, oh, this is for me. This is 100% for me. And like, I tattooed Richie probably 3-4 months later. Yeah. I was tattooing, I apprenticed for like 6 months while I was in the Marine Corps. Like, I went every night to the shop, and then at like tattooing 4 months, he just left me alone.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Wow. He went to work in a town an hour away, and I started gathering a crew then. Like, that was my, like, we had a place to be that wasn't the Marine Corps, and it was the shop, and Richie lived around the corner, and I had a guy to tattoo, and I had a guy with Richie's motivation, and it was like, and I just had groups of kids. So the very first tattoo I ever did was a tribal on a kid's calf. It was a Borneo scorpion. It's 1990. And he still got it. And his name's Ben Wold. He's a great dude. And for the anniversary of tattooing, I would text him probably every year for like 12 years.
That's
I
wild.
would call him. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So Richie, you keep mentioning Richie, but Richie, you talk about Richie Bulldog, because for
Richie
people that
Bulldog.
don't know, that's who you're referring to.
And the reason I'm saying his name, because he was just here the other day and he said my name enough times. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Honest Tattooer is brought to you by Tattoo Smart. They offer digital design tools for the professional tattooer, helping you save time and make your clients happy. Make sure to check out some of their best sellers, the Spit Shade set, the Needle set, advanced 3D body parts, and one of my personal favorites, the Snake Kit. With a vast collection of ready-to-use Procreate flash stamps in a range of styles, including neo-traditional, ornamental, illustrative, Japanese, floral, and more. Listeners can use code HONEST20 at checkout to save 20% on any Tattoo Smart order. So you started tattooing outside of New York.
I started in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yep. And then my history brought me, it's funny. It's like, once again, Richie, the magazine for East Side came out, and he was like, you should work there. And that was it. So I called.
For East Side Inc.
Yep. And I had gotten tattooed by Eddie in San Francisco, and So he had put in the good word by Eddie Deutsch in San Francisco. And he put in a good word. And so when I called, it wasn't like a super cold call. But the girl who answered the phone said that you can't just call for a job. And, but I just did. Like, just putting it out there. And you can. And it's like persistence is what gets you.
Yeah.
And so I got hired at Eastside. I worked there for about a year. 100 tattooers came through there. That was an amazing event. And by 100 tattooers, it's 100 tattooers who, every one of them, their name is in a magazine, and every one of them is still tattooing. And so, like, when I say I'm tattooing 30 years, I'm only a few years behind these other people, but those other people are like still the top of the game.
Yeah.
Like Tintin came, Bernie Luther came. Like it was insane.
Yeah.
It was completely insane.
Wow.
And now when you host somebody here, you know how much effort that is? Lori of New York Adorned, like literally took care of everybody. She made sure that shit was like spot on, and they had people and everybody worked, and it was like clockwork. There was no fucking around. It was great.
That's awesome.
And
Great.
my Marine Corps didn't understand what living in the Lower East Side in 1994 was like. Like I just literally went straight from being told like it's not boot camp the whole time, but you're living a different life, to just pure freedom. And it was like, this is a wild thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I got to experience that, like that I wouldn't have, you know.
By the time you came to New York, how many years were you tattooing by then?
2.5.
2.5 years.
2.5. So I did another year there, and then I worked in Orlando for what seemed like 3 lifetimes, because Orlando's a wild place. It is Orlando tattooing was really was street shop tattooing. I had burnt all my savings at Eastside because it was so underground, and you're competing versus the best. And I did 10,000 flyers. Like I would make flyers and hang them up and put them out and talk to people. But I was like a kid who didn't talk to people. So it's like I'd try to like hustle work, but it was a closed door. And then behind that closed door, you had to like, the barrier for entry was like once again closed. And it's like, people's biggest complaint for me is that they can't get to me. But at the same time, I work by appointment. It's like, I understand, but it's like back then it was torture, and my bank account just went all the way to 0. And I was like, just pure passion tattooer.
What would you say was like a milestone between those first 10 to the next 10 years? What would you say was a big milestone that kind of changed things for you and kind of opened up the world of tattooing?
So I've asked people, like, because during COVID, the world closed, you know, and I was like missing stuff, and I couldn't figure out what it was. It wasn't just interaction and whatnot. And realized I wasn't flying, you know? And so I asked a few of my friends, like, how many conventions you think you went to? And they all guess around 30, you know? But we've been tattooing 30 years, and you do 4 or 5 a year. Like, that math doesn't equal 30, you know? So it's like, how many airplanes I've been on? How many convention setups? How many Thursdays am I out of town? How many, you know, like Thursday through Sunday, come back. And so that level of like interaction with the tattoo community, and just, so now by like convention 45, like when you roll up, you're not just like, man, I hope I work. You're like, oh, hey, what's going on? How are you?
Yeah.
You know, and so it becomes like, not only just like networking, talking outside. And it's funny, like the network is almost, it's not useless, right? It is rewarding to know that you get to hang out and talk with your peers and stuff, but it's there, like, you retreat to your cabin, I go back to mine, and like, I'll see you at the next convention. You know, it's like, we're not hanging out and having coffee. It's the first time I'm here, you know, like you've never even been in the shop. You tried, you know, and you live around the corner, you know? So there's like this level of it where we would spend more time in a standing in a parking lot, you know? And it's like, Brian Bruno passed this year, and like, I know him from the parking lots, you know, like I literally know him from standing around. And yeah, it's wild. And it's like, I never got tattooed by him. I watched him tattoo a bunch, and we know each other. Like, we could talk about shit. Like, if I needed something, you know, but at the same time, this is like, so 30 years of going to conventions, 30 years of that. So the working on trying to make something, trying to be somebody, whatever that is. And then you realize that your clients are home and they're excited to know where you went.
Yeah.
You know, so like, where'd you go this time?
Yeah.
And it got to a point where like I didn't even know the towns I was in. I couldn't remember what town I was in last week or 3 weeks ago. At one point, I was trying to figure out, like, am I doing it right? I worked for a guy named Larry Davis. I worked for him for 8 years, and Larry's awesome. Larry's a great, great person. He's a great tattooer. He's like a magical tattooer. If you can get him, you'll have some stories. It'd be great. But the shop itself, like, he had a receptionist, and he was he would make a ton of tattoos, but at the same time, like, just disappear, and he'd come back, and you like, he taught me how to do conventions. He taught me all those things. So we would be back and forth and traveling all the time. And I'm trying to figure out, like, does everybody live like this? Does everybody live like, we need paper towels, we're always out of cups, you're always out of stencil paper? Like, are we all living like this? So I did a tour one time. I set it up. I came into town on Thursday. We'd hang out Thursday, tattoo Friday and Saturday, and leave on Sunday, right? Like 3 days in your town. I did Astoria, Queens with Kevin Q. I went and like worked at the shop, ate food, got paper towels, paid the phone bill just to see like what it's like at other places. And I realized that like my home is my home. Like my home is my clients. Like when you go somewhere else, you're waiting around for walk-ins or you're trying to talk somebody into it. Mm-hmm. And you make that community, and that community really, everything I own is based on that community. Mm. Like everything I've ever done is from them. I've never bought anything. They paid me to buy that. You know, yeah. It's like every vacation, everything, all the fun I've had is because of them.
So you have a lot of gratitude for the clientele and the community
totally.
To build over.
But it's like, so the tattooing part, it's like you're just trying to like make a good job for them. You're trying to make a good job. And then they just they like what you produce. So then like let them think of the ideas. Like, because you can educate them to a point, you know? Yeah. And it's, your technical ability changes also. So your technical part, and then you're like, when you get good at that, you switch it again, and now you hate the thing you draw, and then you're like, I switch that again. Things that I look back on, I wish I could see what I see now. You know, you learn little pieces, like, oh, that's what he was doing the whole time. And that growth of those two pieces, the art part and the technical part, they go back and forth. And I come from a time when you made your own needles and you scrubbed tubes, you made your own needles, we made ink, we did all those things.
I want to make a montage of all our guests saying that exactly.
Saying that they made all that stuff, right?
Do you still use like coil machines? And
I use coil machines.
No way.
Yeah, totally.
Boner alert.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's not for lack of trying. So I apprenticed one person. His name's Ian Healey. He's an amazing tattooer. Mm-hmm. He would be
Where
great
is he
to have.
at?
He lives in, I'm going to get it wrong, Massachusetts, but Middleborough, something like that.
Ian, correct him in the comments.
Ian Healey. So he is magic. Like he has the magic of tattooing, but he has the magic of art also. Like his passion started later. Like when he started drawing, he was already getting tattooed. So it was like, but his, like when it clicked hard. And so that piece of it, but when it goes to the coil machine, he only tattoos with the pen. Like that happened so fast from him going from, because I apprenticed him. I taught him all the way, like all the stuff that I know. And
I'm going to throw a name at you real quick. Sorry to interrupt. Do you remember a kid, Billy Capabianco?
Billy Capabianco? Yeah, I remember Billy Cap.
Ian,
I only know him as Billy Cap.
Billy Cap.
Yeah.
Totally. So Ian used to tattoo him.
Okay.
Before I started tattooing, Billy asked me to draw him a couple of designs.
Right.
And I drew him a spider.
Okay.
Billy gave it to Ian. And I fully expected Ian to like be like, oh, this is shit. I'm going to draw my own thing. But he tattooed it the way that I drew it, but then colored it so amazing. And I remember looking at that tattoo. It was like, holy fuck, this guy's a good tattooer. Yeah. Like, he made my drawing look really, really good.
And then what's funny about that is he only does black and gray stuff at the moment. Like you can get a color one every once in a while. I make full color tattoos. Like that's like, I use every color all the time. I have a really simple color palette that I don't use.
You use more than 5 colors?
I use them all.
Oh man.
It's, well, I don't make traditional
joking.
tats, but
Just-
I know it's but that's what's so fun is like I make all of it, and
Sweet.
he like so quickly developed like as an artist and as a tattooer that the pen came, and he quickly was like, hey, check this thing out.
Sick.
But
Yeah.
so he gave me one, and I spent a whole month using them. Like I literally was like, there's only one way in, you know, you dive all the way in.
Yeah.
And it's not that I can't, I just don't, it doesn't make the line that I make. Like
Yeah.
the line
I 100% agree with that.
and the line I make is 25 years in, you know, like
Of a coil of just you using your
just
tools.
using that technique. And it's like,
Yeah.
there's that. And what I do with the pen is I'm chasing the depth, and it's like, nobody wants, here's a fun fact is like when you're tattooing 30 years, you get a lot done in 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 hours of tattooing to beat the bricks off people. Right. And they're like, we're good. You know,
Yeah, like-
I don't
Yeah.
do 6 hours. I don't do, if you got tattooed 9 hours from me, you'd be fucked. You know, you would just be fucked. People are just bummed.
Power tattooing.
Yeah.
Just,
And it's like, and we don't have to because I live locally and you live locally. I'll see you in 2 weeks. It's
Yeah.
like, and it'll be healed. It's totally fine. It's, there's like these levels of that. But when you're so used to getting stuff done, and here I am just chasing, like on my own, chasing like 1 millimeter, like I don't
to keep changing little things about it.
for the coil, the pen,
pen,
you know,
yeah, the pen
like
valve.
there's something about it that, and it's not, it works. Like I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It's just not for me. And it's because I can set the depth like so quickly with the other one and just get to work.
Yeah.
And that one, I'm like back it in, out, more power, raw power. Like when I broke a bishop, like I literally like ran it so it made sound, you know, like, and it's just like, sorry about that. Yeah.
And then it was like, burp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, so the first time I used them, like I was cutting the end of the cartridge. I was like, how did I adjust the fucking depth on these things? So I was manually manipulating the push.
Okay.
Like I was trimming the end, like file it.
So
Like,
good.
yeah.
Making it shorter?
I need fat. Yeah. So I could get a better throw. Like I could get it out to where I need it to
Okay.
be like,
Yeah, when you push it down and it comes back,
Yeah.
it springs back up,
and I
you-
would just
you shorten
trim
it.
so that the
So
right.
the
distance.
machine just really slaps that needle
Sheesh.
tip in
Yeah,
there.
but like nobody tells you how to run this thing. They're just like, here you go.
Tattoo armor is literally the best way to wrap your client. I've been using it, Matt's been using it, and it's just awesome. There's no mess, there's no glue, and it's just super comfortable. I hope you can try it for yourself and just go on to Tattoo Armor and use the code Honest Tattooer for 20% off your order.
It took me like some time
Yeah.
as well. Like, you know, once like those things came out, I was like, man, I want to try these things. And it took me a little bit to kind of get used to it, especially to line with them. But once I got used to it,
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, this is great. And I've been able to see tattoos that I've done like with just nice bold outlines that are
Yeah.
just solid and they're in there. But then like just recently I got a new machine and it has more of like a traditional kind of like a Dan Kubin style kind
Right.
of hit, which feels a lot more coil like.
Right.
And
More
like
shaggy.
that first
Yeah.
tattoo I did with it, I was like, oh, this feels amazing. I was like, it feels so good. I was
There you
like,
go.
this feels like what it used to feel like to line with something like this. Like it's just like, you know, where I can just glide my hand, the machine does the work. I don't have to really kind of press
And that's what we're
and
chasing.
push into
you know?
it.
And
you
it's
know?
and it's
Yeah.
hard to chase that on a human. You know, like the other part is like I have it for making super fine line, like the tightest 3 that like I could never make a 3 that tight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I have it to make that one shot tiny little wrist tattoo that takes you 4 seconds. Like I have it for that.
Yeah.
And those people expect it to be quiet and they don't think anything of it and it's not going to blow out. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's a magic to that too. So it's like, I use it, but it's not my tool. Yeah.
Same.
After
But
tattooing,
for large 25 bags,
Yeah.
like and things like that, it makes like, it's great for that, you know?
Yeah, I
but
think
at
it's
the
freaking
same
awesome.
time, I'm always chasing that tiny little depth. So
do you have any like memorable client stories that you feel like, I mean, 30 years, you have to have some really good ones.
Well,
like-
that's what's funny is like you asked what we want to talk about, and it's, right now I have this group of people that I see like continually that it's fun to be at the shop. Like they stop by, they know each other. They like stop by to hang out and do what we're doing right now. It's hard to like while I set up, they're just chopping it up. And it's like, it's a really fun thing. But over the years, I've had like loyal clients who've gotten both sleeves, both back. One time I said
Both backs.
Yeah, both backs.
Both
I
backs.
said
The front back and the
the
back.
front back. Yeah. But I said to him, why am I like I feel like I'm doing everybody's front this season.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, you did everybody's back. It's just how it is. It's like it's front season.
It's the season,
Yeah,
bro.
it's the season of the front. Yeah. So I do both backs. Do leg backs, front backs, elbow backs. I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Awesome.
What's one tattoo that you would say you'll never forget?
Fuck. Number one.
The first
Yeah,
one.
totally.
Yeah.
You never forget your first.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
But my brother is like, my family is a huge part of my life too. That's the other thing. It's like I'd be nowhere without my brother. My brother's 5 years older than me. He's 5 years cooler than me. He is heavy metal like all day long. My brother is Eddie Van Halen. My sister has supported me nonstop. Here's a good story. I got to do the New York Tattoo Society at CBGB's. Like they had the meeting there. And so at like the cafe next to CB's, I got to speak about graffiti and tattooing, right?
Cool.
But super cool if you're not a 25-year-old kid from North Carolina, right? Like I grew up in the suburbs. What do I know about fucking, I got ups behind the Grand Union, you know? And so it was Richie Scene, Zephyr,
Yeah. Big graffiti guys.
myself and Larry Davis. And
Pretty
it's like,
cool.
yeah. And I got to talk about the bullshit that I made that week. And it was just like, it was wild. And the other part is like, we're in the neighborhood of where Eastside used to be. You know, it was around the corner. My girl had an apartment just down the street here. Like this neighborhood looked nothing like this.
Oh, it's
right?
crazy, yeah.
And so where the Whole Foods used to be a truck parking, like the classic white box truck, and like got busted by the cops in that classic white box truck area. Yeah, like totally. This was the Lower East Side, you know.
Yeah.
And now it's here. Like there's a Trader Joe's around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Trader Joe's Target. Can't get the
Target, Trader Joe's,
Oh, there's a
Marshall's
Target
right there.
there?
Oh,
So
yeah. It's
sick.
crazy. Everything's
It's awesome.
right here.
I love it.
Yeah. Things you
Yeah.
can find in the suburbs are now here
Yeah.
in the
I'm
Lower
okay with
East
it.
Side.
I'm
It's
okay
pretty
with that.
wild.
Yeah.
It's kind of sweet.
Yeah, but it's like the experiences are like I brought some photos for you to look at, which would be funny later. But they're I've had my brother has brought me so many great clients, and we've had so much fun at the shop. My brother and his buddy drove to the Salt Lake City tattoo convention one time so he could go snowboarding, get tattooed, and hang out. Like
Yeah.
it's literally I've taken the road trip with Jeff more than once, and he literally will lollygag until the last minute and then white knuckle to the convention. Like the first time I met you, that was at the Miami convention.
Yeah.
We went down to there.
Tattoo Palooza.
Yep.
Was that the name of it?
That was it, yeah.
They were body painting. Like
Sounds
they're
like Tattoo Palooza.
Yeah.
2011.
Richie was the host, and but he had a double wide truck. Like he had a truck with a trailer, and like a massive truck with a trailer, and he pulled up and said to the tattoo attendant, Jeff Cribb is a real tattoo guy. He literally said, "You like tattoos?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I love tattoos." He was like, "You want one?" He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Can I keep my truck here?" And the guy's like, "Fuck yeah." That's
it.
He traded a Miami priced parking of a truck and a trailer for a single tat in the room. He was set up before, like that kid got off shift. He set up, did that tat in the room before we even had dinner.
Damn.
Yeah, that was it. And that truck got to stay there all week. Yeah,
Awesome.
totally. We had a great time.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's real tattooing.
Yeah.
That might have
Back
been
when
the only
you-
tattoo that happened that weekend. I remember that was a really slow convention.
Oh, we tattooed our ass off that weekend.
Did you really?
Yeah, because
All the guys in my row didn't tattoo at all.
it's
Actually, so I shared a booth with Steve, and the guy next to me was Dave Detloff. We should have him on one time. I think you've met Dave a couple of times.
Maybe.
We were just kind of fucking around the entire weekend. That Dave wound up tattooing Steve that weekend. 'Cause,
Oh, nice.
Like, they were like, "Yeah, we're not doing anything, so start tattooing each other."
So I have a it's not a reputation. I will tattoo till the last moment. at a convention.
Till they kick you out.
Till they kick me out. They take down the booth around me. And it has happened almost every time. And it's not because I'm not doing the job. It's because I'm doing one more job.
You don't feel the pressure?
I don't
Like,
care.
yeah, okay, good. Because I always wonder, I'm always the early bird where I'm like, look at these losers still freaking tattooing to their.
Nope.
No, I've been there.
Never, and I say that loosely because it's never losers. It's
No.
always somebody just grinding hard to the entire
And
day.
I don't do, like I heard you guys talking about people who bring their bodysuits and try to like do a sleeve in a weekend. No, I'm a salesman. Like I stand by I've gone to a convention without a portfolio, used Jeff's portfolio, spoke to a person and
Got tattooed.
And one tattoo of the day.
Nice.
Like it doesn't, it's the imagine I could speak and sell a tattoo. I can't talk on this mic, but
it's you. You're the one. I mean, honestly, you're selling your tattoos, but
and
yeah.
So making tattoos for the people who walk the aisles is what I do at conventions.
Cool.
Like I'm not there to pay for the booth. It's all right. Like that's all done. Like I'm there to make tattoos. So my friend puts on this show, right? Like I am blessed with the invite to go to this show. It is my duty as a tattooer to do the right thing by those people, right? I'm going to be hanging out until 3 a.m. anyway. It's like I can stay till 11 to get that person tattooed. And they always come back with, man, that guy over there said, it's going to take too long. And I'm like, it's not. Like, we could do that right now. Like, we're here to do this. And it only speaks well of the tattoo community as a whole to leave that good taste in somebody's mouth.
Yeah.
So that, like, so that's all we're here for, like, is the service of that person.
There's
And
definitely a lot of people who would be the opposite of you. Like, it's late.
yeah. And it's
Maybe
like,
we'll try tomorrow.
I can get it done,
Yeah.
And I could also take a tracing of you and see you in the morning. I could draw on you right now and see you in the morning. Like I could do those things. And people are like, oh shit. And I'm not like, hey, give me all your money. I'll see you in the morning. I'm just like, yeah, I got a tracing. If you don't show, you're not getting tattooed. But I have all the tattoos already.
Yeah.
I'm tattooed. Like it's cool.
Yeah. You ever been to a restaurant and it's like you get there and they're like, oh, sorry, the kitchen closed. And you're like, oh, what time does it close? It's like at 10 and it's like 10:03.
Yep.
And you're like,
You son of
this
a
is
bitch.
fucked up,
Not even
dude.
clean. Yeah. And if your boss was here, he would bring me extra entrees.
They'd be like,
because
They're
they
happy
know.
to have your service.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because the boss wants it.
Yeah.
And it's like, so when working at a convention, yes, it's for you, and yes, it's for the trophy, and yes, it's for all that stuff. But at the same time, that person putting it on, like legitimately hustles to get all those booths there, to get those people there. And artists are terrible. We're terrible people. We want to be there. We want to be helpful. We want to donate. We want to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, call me the day of. I'll be there. Like I confirmed yesterday strictly so because your 100th episode. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks.
That's no small feat.
Yeah.
But a no-show is just like,
we had
like-
two no-shows.
We had
2
two
weeks in a
shows,
row.
2 weeks in a row.
yeah, that's a kick in the dick.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, you guys are working hard at what you're doing. It's not, this thing isn't easy, And like, I know that. So it's like, it's the respect of part of my secret to my success is I call and confirm people
Yeah.
the week before.
Wow, a whole week.
A whole week. I don't give them a month ahead. I don't email them. We have
How far out are you booked?
4 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I work quarterly. It's like I start new projects and if you commit your time to people and they'll commit your time to you. That's it. Like
That's very
you, that's the clip. Fuck y'all. Straight up, it's like I don't take deposits. Like I don't need them.
At all?
I don't take deposits. I
Ah.
don't need them. Why I
Oh,
don't need
man.
them is because my people are reliable and I'm reliable to them. That's it. And if anybody says anything different about me, that's like an anomaly. And they go home mad by themselves, but it's an anomaly. There's no way I have the volume of work that I've done. And, and it's like taking a karate class. Like once you sign up, you're like, I gotta go. It's like you sign up for the gym. That's one thing. You sign up for a trainer, like you gotta go. It's like you make that commitment and they commit to you just the same. And I don't like finish a session and say, hey, when can you book again? I'm like, see you in 2 weeks. Like I have them in the book already.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're already there. So what I do is I fill in those spaces in between those spaces. That's
That's
it's
incredible.
and then at one time it was ridiculous. Like I had a really crazy wait, and then my appointment come in, they get a name, and I'd be like, that's it. So I'd have to make a phone call to get somebody in and
To get
work
somebody
on
else.
this stuff.
or somebody
So
else, yeah.
I started doing walk-ins on Fridays, and it's like, it seems so pretentious. It like seems so pretentious. But 10 years ago, I run a tattoo shop with no flash. Like I literally have like a waiting area and my station. And it's like, it's filled with art and fun stuff and books. And but the Vanguard was open with the idea of just being for the people and their ideas. Like Yoshi has the pictures to look at. So while you're sitting there, you have something to look at. It's not for him, And it's the same. It's like we're there to do the job. So I wasn't there to like have people pick stuff off the wall. 20 years ago, that was an anomaly,
Yeah.
Like it was a unique idea. So my pretentious shop, like I had a 9-month wait, and I'm in the shop cleaning up. It's fucking midnight, and 2 people walk by in the middle of the night. And they go, "Oh, cool, a tattoo shop." And the other guy goes, "They suck. You can't even get in there." And I was like, "Fuck." And it's like, so I
man.
needed to make a change. Like
Yeah.
I needed
Plants?
to make something. So I
Any
started
plants
doing every Friday. What was that line?
I said, any plants there at least?
In my shop?
Yeah.
There's no light.
Nope. Like, no, like,
No plants.
Oh,
Plants. Kill a plant. I planted bamboo right during the heat wave, and it fucking never.
Oh,
took.
never
I-
took.
And I was like, "God,"
Dude,
so
I
I
was-
have a dead plant.
I was going to be
in
like,
the
that
shop.
counts.
But,
So wait, the question is, the guys who walked by and said that you suck because you can't get anybody in, did you tattoo them that night?
nah. But
That would have been the move.
I was just super. Like now's your time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But so I started doing walk-ins. I did walk-ins every Friday for like 6 years. Like COVID killed the walk-ins, and I hate to say COVID killed the walk-ins. I couldn't do the volume of walk-ins. I was doing 10 a day, like which is a heavy day.
Yeah.
A lot of like, it's going to be on me forever, and I'm like, I know it is.
yeah.
And so like I give people an honest experience every time. It's funny they use the line, but I try to give. The thing that made me mad is you couldn't get tattooed by me and get your first tattoo should have like some magic to it. It shouldn't just be from the guy that's available, right? So that's what Walk-In Friday was. It became like a little bit of a party. It became like fun for people to come, and like they would all hang out and chit chat about what they were going to get and take care of each other while I was just doing the tasks.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And so me and the crew at the time, I had 3 guys working for me. It'd be a really fun day, like a really fun day.
Everybody was doing walk-ins that day?
Yeah, and then it starts to get like, some people don't like doing lettering, and it's like, I'll do it all. Like,
Yeah.
What's funny is I worked really hard on my lettering all these years, and then I like worked even harder to get like, instead of like try to get it more stylized in a thing that looks like I made it, and then even more so, and then and now they just get the doctor's script. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
but
Like,
yeah, just
and I'm like, and they're like, that's
Sick.
it. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
because I could give you all. I got to do lettering the other day with all the bells and whistles,
Yeah.
with all the gingerbread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was just,
Flourishes and
all of it.
filigree.
Yeah.
After I got the chance to sit down with Matt and John on the Honest Tattooer podcast, the Force of Focus got amazing feedback when it comes to the Hello to Healed process and networking strategies, and most of all, creating your own personal brand and culture. So I want to give you the opportunity to take 15% off by coming to join the Force of Focus arena. Now, this is a community of high-achieving tattoo artists who are all here for one reason: to be around like-minded individuals who all want to grow not only in our personal lives, but within our businesses. We're going to walk with you side by side to build out every system you could ever imagine to not only ensure the fact you're on the right path, but how to be able to see your dream life and then achieve it. Now, I have a laundry list of artists who have been able to achieve their dreams, and if you're ready to do the same, click the link below and let's get a conversation going.
I got tattooed by Zeke in North Carolina, and I got the word New York written on my wrist, and that tattoo he penned on, and it has all the things, and I tried to emulate that for years, but I didn't know like the size and scale. And then there was a guy in the Bronx named Champion, and Champion would not even, he wouldn't even write it on. Like he would literally just hold your arm and
There you
right?
go.
Yeah, but the people of the Bronx have difficult names, and he didn't care. He would just fucking go for it. Like you make a line, like a little girl's arm, this with the
You're talking about Angelo?
yeah.
Yeah.
He-
So,
he-
so dude, so like at Champion Tattoo, shout out to Angela, man. It's like they used to do like $50, $100 names, dude, and it would be it's pretty much as big as you want.
It wasn't as big as you want,
but within like a certain
it was
like
what
size.
he made. That's it. Like he would draw the line, like you want to here or here.
Yeah,
and then make
he would just go straight up.
Dip.
And he would kind of calligraphy, like think of like a calligraphying a name with like a 7 mag.
Yeah.
So you could get like that,
Yeah.
and get that.
Those thick and thin.
Yes,
all the way. Yeah.
People like
And-
that don't wear underwear.
bang it, dude. If
In
you
brush script, yeah.
if you've ever been to Orchard Beach in the Bronx, I'm sure you've
I
seen
have.
a bunch of champions. If you've seen like a big ass name,
Yeah.
like across the arm
And-
with like the stars, yes,
That's it.
Probably
that's a champion special. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Wow.
And he put the red dot in it. That'd
Boom.
be it.
Yeah,
Done.
that'd be it.
But that was the best. Like sometimes
magic.
they would double on tattoo magic all the way, like full on tattoo magic.
So you've said that a few times in different kind of ways. So I wanted to ask you, what does tattoo magic mean to you?
It's funny. It's how special this thing is hard to quantify, right? And we have a friend who owns a shop in Australia, in Melbourne. His name's Jordy Cole, and I met Jordy through Larry, but Jordy's been tattooing 35 years, and Jordy is a killer. Like he is just a crusher. But his shop is called Tattoo Magic. It is literally like all of the pieces of the puzzle, the clients, the ideas you get to do, so I specialize in myths and legends. Like I legitimately I read books and I find stories because everybody knows who Hercules is, but nobody knows who Sisyphus is. So it's like you can do them all, and all it takes is like explaining it to them. So you got enough books and you got enough reference, and you could do any of the heroes from any of the prints, and they all want it. They want something different. And it'd be wonderful to be Japanese and make just dragons.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be wonderful to be Japanese and make just dragons and the same dragon all the time in a subtly different manner on a different person because it's the collective of that. But Americans are like, I want a dragon, but I want mine different.
Yeah.
So like everyone has to have like a story attached so that they can tell their story. And that's just who we are. So it's like we're doing American style Japanese tattooing that literally has like some historic value, right? So that they can speak about it. But that magic is in them being able to talk about it. The day you get it where it's at, I feel that a lot of the magic gets lost by appointments, So like I try to bring an experience so that they're not just having like their teeth cleaned, right? Like sometimes I see you and like everything works great and it totally goes smooth. But a lot of the times like there's something going on. Like I'm a ranter, I read a lot, I talk a lot of shit. And it's like, there's always something. There's always something going on. I'm going to tell this story really quick. Day after the election, I'm tattooing this election. I'm tattooing a 19-year-old boy, and that young man has no idea what he's in for that day because I cannot believe the state of the world and what's going to happen over the next 75 days. My heart is just like, holy shit. And I am drawing his picture, and I didn't like the drawing I had made the night before, like the 2 days before. I was like staring at it. It's a gladiator. And I'm like, I don't like it. And so I'm going to redraw this thing. And the whole time I'm drawing, I'm like, just and another thing about this, like I literally am just, and this kid is like, holy shit, I did not sign up for this.
Yeah.
He had like no defense. He literally, it's like it's punk rock already, so it's neither side. I don't care. This is just we're into some shit, and I'm like, you don't even know. You don't even know, and I am just not only wasting his time, but he fucking remembers that day. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah.
He's just like, dude, this was 4 hours, and then it was, there's like the things that happen while you're getting tattooed are wonderful. Like it's the people you meet, the things you talk about, and the other part is like we're part of their lives, where you see your photo, the tattoo you made on vacation. Like the best photo you have of somebody is like while they're on vacation. Like you want to see your work and try to get a real nice photo of it. And there's like portfolio photos have no love. Like when they're out doing their thing and you see it, you're like, that's it. That's the real shit. you know?
That's true.
And I want to jump on that. So I was telling you the other day that I had ChatGPT read this book called Hook Point.
Okay.
And Hook Point is, in a nutshell, is the science of going viral.
Okay.
So I had ChatGPT
I love that.
read the book,
Uh-huh.
and then I asked it, all right, do you understand? And he's like, yeah. And I go, okay, write me some things, some posts I can create to make my portfolio look better. And one of the things that it's saying is that when you're posing your client, don't just have your client stand there nice and stoic and super stiff. Like ChatGPT was giving me all these poses to put my client into to create nice dynamic portfolio pictures. And a lot of them were like vacation style photos, just like hanging out, like looking at your tattoo, like, oh shit, look at that.
Hey, look at this.
That's awesome. I use my iPad strictly. Like what I do on my iPad is very funny. Like I draw on paper all the time. I take a photo of it and I use it to trace the line drawing that I would trace on tracing paper to just erase. So instead of making a new tracing paper, and then I can make 6 of them instead of making 6 photocopies in different sizes.
Right.
And I print it out one time. And that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like I sometimes use it to create shapes. And when I do that, I don't like the stuff that it makes. Like I smush it and do it. Like all the brushes and stuff like that. The tedious part of using the BJ bets to get the old English
To do
letters
a script, that
out.
sounds insane to me. I don't know how people do it.
But it's tough to like lay
put 'em all.
Yeah, I'm like I don't have I can write the word faster, you know, and then
Yeah.
I like
Right.
reference the letter I need, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but making all those stamps, like congratulations on making stamps. It's like that's wild to me because I understand Russ's point on like we're using the same shape anyway. I use this reference all the time. And it's baseball cards come in a few strong poses.
Yeah.
There's not like
guy with the
there's
bat?
back and then they're like full swing
Yeah.
and it's like
Right,
halfway in between.
yeah.
But it's based on like how strong their bodies. But it's
Yeah.
like those are the good poses.
Think about good eagle poses. Like
Yeah.
how many of those are actually really good?
Yeah,
It's like
that's the one.
that's
you know?
the one. Man.
And that's it. So
How many
that
Ken Griffey poses?
right.
are you gonna
Exactly.
And it's
see?
like and that becomes like the reference point. So when you're getting a person sprinting to get them running, it's like so using AI to get you somewhere to see like what what references are out there. That's like okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I practically yell at it like that's not what I'm talking about. You know, like I was just trying to see if I could get it to do something the other day, and I'm like, I can do it. It's fine. I got it.
One of the comments we get often is if I make a post and it's early in the morning, I want to get something out. I don't want to spend like hours drawing something, right? I'll have an image generated by ChatGPT or Midjourney.
Yeah.
Like, here, give me a cartoon of a tattooed girl or whatever, throw it on there real quick, and then I'll post it with whatever caption. And then people in the comments will be like, oh, it's a real bummer you used AI for this. I was like, well, I mean, do you want to draw for 4 hours to make a post that probably 10 people are going to see? Like, it's not worth it.
There's another piece to it, and it's like they don't understand the effort that we're putting in to make the thing that we like. Like, I don't care if the AI makes a wonky one, right? I
Yeah.
don't
Right.
like it anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't like it. It's like, I'm going to use, but for me to like finish lettering or finish anything for that matter, it's like you have to go all the way to when one of your family is like, hey, just draw this real quick. You're like, there's no real quick. There's nothing real quick.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
That's true.
Yeah. And so but to generate things for Instagram, captions is a great use of AI.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh man, don't even. Oh man, making people sound smarter than what they are. Oh,
what do you mean?
so when like you write like when you have AI generate like you wanted to write your posts.
Oh no,
or you
I'm talking
wanted to,
about like
to-
what we're speaking right now.
Yeah.
Like
It'll
or
put the text on screen.
put the
what you're
text
saying.
on screen.
Oh, okay.
Like the
Okay,
that's
that's been around
That's
for a
the
little
teletype, but
while.
the AI does it at like oh shit, that's done. Yeah, that used to be like $1 million piece of equipment the size
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that, you know.
I mean, I
Right.
mean, like on the other side of what Gabe's saying, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying about using AI to make you sound smarter than what you are. I mean, that's what almost every famous, like, you know, politician, they have speech writers. You know, presidents have speech writers. They don't write those speeches.
I mean, even-
they just read it off a teleprompter. They're just really good at reading it, you know?
Even like talk show hosts have writers.
Yes, they have writers. Comedians have writers.
Joke writers.
Team of writers, you know?
So who's Trump's writer?
Somebody is.
I think
The
he just.
riffer.
I think he just goes off.
He's a riffer, but he also has something that to follow, and he can go off riff. You know, at
And I
any
can tell the
point.
difference.
And
He's
that's
just
all right. So check
running
this
his
out.
mouth
I'm
and
glad-
just reading it.
yeah.
Try to hit these points.
Yes. And this is, I'm glad I brought this up because that's exactly what people, and look what happened this last election, right? I think people,
something happened?
I think, no. Not even going to get political. I'm just saying.
I'm just
And it was clear that by the polls that the majority of America wanted somebody that just went out there and just ripped it.
Yeah.
Didn't follow a
As opposed
script.
to the script.
People are tired of the script. People are tired of the bullshit.
because they know it could be the AI.
Right.
Like,
So-
why am I listening to a robot? Yeah.
Well, I got a couple of questions before we go.
Go.
What would you say is the
Al Alexander,
what's
the best.
what's the biggest lesson that you think you've learned in the 3 decades of being in the tattoo industry?
Humility, 100%. It's not about you. It's about them. That's it. I had no plans for the future, and I'm living in the future, and the existence of the future is actual. So it's like my only advice is know that what you're doing today is going to be with them. That's it. Like this is not today. Your ego of tattooing, whatever you're making right now, is on them for the whole ride. Like I tattoo an 80-year-old guy, I tattoo a 70-year-old guy, and they're still getting tattooed. And I've been tattooing them since they're 50.
Yeah.
You know
think-
what I mean? Like,
That's what I love about tattooing in
Yeah,
general.
man.
Like for real, for real.
and it's going to be there. So like you see your sketchbook now, like I tell young people who are just sketching up one arm, you can tell when they're doing it themselves. I'm
Yep.
like, just stop. Like I wouldn't want to see what I made then. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like you do get better. And it's like,
Yeah.
but know that it's with them. Like there's part of it. Yeah.
I mean, I
Awesome.
think that from everything we've gathered today from you is that, you know, you've been really good about just building client relationships and how important those are to the longevity of your career.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give a young artist? 'Cause I feel like that's one of the things that young artists these days it's one of their weakest points. Like a lot of them are super talented. Amazingly talented,
What people
but
are making
they lack
is
on
magic. It's really, they're making something special, but the sales of it, you can do all the sales you want online, but when you're speaking to somebody, like, yeah, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's, yes, you're allowed to be in your space working hard, and like I'm focused at the task at hand, but the overall adventure of it, they come back because of if you make them feel right, if you make them feel well, they come back. It's the other part is you can go out and travel and then come home to your people, go out and travel and come home, because that's how you build a clientele. It's like I've worked everywhere. I've been around this planet and I've had a really good time, and I've tattooed everywhere before it was tattooing is what it is today. And it's been great. It's been great. But like every time I come home, I get to discuss my travels with the people while I'm working, and it makes for a different adventure. Like take care of the people. That's it. And it's not, and what's going on right now, how wild the world is right now, how slow it feels and all that. This is a period in time. It will pass. It literally is. This is not what it,
This is not forever.
this is not
I agree.
forever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is the truth. Like everybody's tight right now.
Yeah.
There's rich people are tight. Rich people are mad at paying that much for gas.
Yeah.
They can't believe it.
Everybody's mad.
Their expense account is mad. Like, it's just how it is. It's okay.
Jared, thank you so much for hanging out with us today,
Thank
man.
you.
It's been
Yeah.
a pleasure,
Sick.
man.
Super awesome to sit with you.
Sick.
Before we go, I haven't done this in a while. I want to thank our Patreon supporters.
Yeah.
Patreon. So we got a couple of new people to thank. We got Danny Rojas. We got, did I name him last time? I don't know. Danny Rojas. We have Bad Dog. We have Sean Oglesby. We've got Soul Inky. We've got Rock Lobster. We've got
Lobster.
Jacob, aka Freddy Krueger. And I think that's it. Thank you guys
Thank you
very
guys so much.
for jumping
Awesome.
on,
Thank
supporting
you,
the
guys.
Patreon. If you want to be like those guys and help support the show, head over to patreon.com/honest tattooer and sign up to be a Patreon supporter.
Sign up.
Thank you guys so much. Jared, thank you so
Totally
much
fine.
for joining us.
Thank you.
And if people want to come to a shop that's locked and still,
Yep. Give it a shot. I'm always there.
where can they come find you and
Having
see
fun.
you?
Vanguard Tattoo, 230 Main Street, Nyack, New York.
Sick.
That's it.
That's it, guys. Well,
Awesome.
thank you guys for hanging out with us another time, and we'll see you again next week. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.